Dozens of countries have vowed to end coal power at the UN Climate Change Conference, but critics say the global pledge falls short. Day 6 of the Glasgow summit will be dedicated to youth and public empowerment. Taylor Hawkins is the Managing Director of the group Foundations for Tomorrow, and she joins us now from Glasgow. Taylor Hawkins, thank you for your time. So we've seen more than 40 countries committing to phasing out coal, so countries like Vietnam, Ukraine and Poland. How significant is that announcement?
I think any commitment to ambitious action is significant, and I think we should take that as a real commitment to an optimistic future that I'm incredibly excited by.
But major emitters and producers like the US, China and Australia, India have not signed up. So what can this commitment actually achieve, given coal is the single biggest contributor to climate change?
We can't deny that obviously climate solutions do centre around a few very specific factors, but I think what we need to focus on is how can we continue to build momentum and build sort of a new culture of leadership around climate solutions and climate change that will help us build on what we already have and move forward with ambition and sort of a pragmatism that's necessary.
Well, as part of this pledge, it's interesting that business is on side because several major banks have agreed to stop financing the coal industry. What difference will that make?
If you're looking at a system, you have to look at all of the ways which it's perpetuated. And so I think as we gradually start to identify factor by factor and find ways that we can limit their impact, I think it will have a hugely significant impact on the progress we make from here.
What are you experiencing there in Glasgow when it comes to the commitment and the passion from young people to try and influence nations and big business to do more?
The commitment and passion is certainly here. I have the pleasure of being here with several other young Australians, and we are all doing our best to be incredibly supportive and agitate for the change we want to see and hopefully encourage the leadership culture that we hope to see in the future. And the same is true for so many other nations. I've had the pleasure of meeting incredibly passionate young people from all around the world, and it gives me real confidence for the future.
There is a divide between the developed world and the developing world when it comes to climate change. How much do rich countries need to invest in developing nations to, say, end their reliance on coal?
I'm certainly not in a position to tell any country what to do, but I do think that future action should be informed by historical behaviour. And so I think all countries should really review on how we have gotten to where we are and let that be a key factor in how we design our steps forward.
Yeah, so when you say that, most rich countries have been able to build their economies off the back of cheap fossil fuels. So is it right for the developed world to say to poorer nations, you're not able to do that?
It comes to the heart of climate justice, and I think anyone who's done their reading around this space would know that we need to look at equity, but we also need to look at ensuring that all countries are doing what they are capable of doing. And so that will be entirely a case-by-case basis, looking at what is the individual country able to contribute and how could they garner support from other countries in the process.
Now, there's a rubbish problem over there in Glasgow, isn't there, with workers on strike? Is that visible when you're walking through the streets?
I think the locals here are doing an incredible job at getting on top of that. I've noticed it, I would say, on and off on my way in and out of the SEC, but I think that it's being addressed as swiftly as possible.
Okay, Taylor Hawkins, good to talk to you.
Thank you.